A good day to you all. I am Precious Aisisa Igbelabo, a 400 level law student of University of Benin and a Viger intern at Allen Solicitors. I'll be presenting a short video on the topic, processes guiding the disconnection of interconnection of telecommunications network. But before going further, it's expedient of me to define interconnection as well as interconnection agreements. Interconnection is defined by Section 157, which is the interpretative section of the principal law guiding telecommunication in Nigeria, that is the Nigeria Communication Act 2003, herein afterwards referred to as NCA 2003, as the physical and logical linking and connection of communication systems used or operated by the same or different licensees in order to convey messages to and from respective systems for production of service. On the other hand, interconnection agreement is a legally binding agreement between the requesting party and the requested party, which memorializes the obligations and responsibilities of the contracting party with regards to interconnection. It is at this point I would like to make it known to you that without interconnection in place, it will be difficult for subscribers of various networks to interconnect or communicate with each other. That is, a subscriber of MTN network will be unable to relate or reach out to a subscriber of Airtel or any other network. The Nigeria Communication Commission, which is also known as the NCC, is a body established by Section 3 of the NCA 2003, and it is saddled with responsibilities of creating regulations and guidelines with regards to telecommunications law in Nigeria. This is as provided in Section 70 of the NCA 2003. Among these regulations and guidelines created by the NCC are the Telecommunications Network Interconnection Regulation 2007, as well as the guidelines on processes for granting approval to disconnect telecommunication operator 2012. Section 96 of the NCA 2003 placed an obligation on an operator to interconnect with another licensee upon request by that licensee for interconnection, although this must be done in a feasible location. This is reinstated in Regulation 1 Sub 1 of the Telecommunications Network Interconnection Regulation 2007, as well as it is reaffirmed by the NCC in the case of ICN and MTN. The question as to whether a disconnection of interconnection of telecommunication is possible is often asked. So this question I answer in the affirmative, as paragraph 1 sub 1a of the guidelines on procedures for granting approval to disconnect telecommunications operator 2012 provides for this. Before going further, I would like to define disconnection as it is stated in paragraph 16, which is the interpretative section of these guidelines. It is defined as not merely the absence of physical connection, but a reduction in the bandwidth of both sides, by allowing for just a unidirectional flow as against a bidirectional flow, and a general reduction of traffic, however called. Paragraph 3 sub 1 of these guidelines vests on an operator the right to apply on the NCC disconnection form 1 approval to disconnect with an interconnected operator or respondent. However, this cannot be done if the respondent does not fail to carry out its activities or its duties with regards to the interconnection agreement, and therefore leading to any of the defaults listed in paragraph 3 sub 1 A to E of these guidelines. This includes where 1. The respondent fails to settle its interconnection indebtedness as after it becomes due. Just like in every other contract agreement, consideration is needed to be furnished for the contract to become binding. In interconnection agreements, there's what is called the interconnection charges and interconnection costs, which a respondent must furnish as at the time stated in the interconnection agreement terms and conditions. However, he is given the right to overpass these terms, but it must not be more than 60 calendar days after the agreed time. This is provided in paragraph 5.2 of the guidelines. Number 2, where the termination is as a result of the terms of the agreement. Every interconnection agreement has its terms and conditions, and where the respondent and the operator carries out their functions in the agreement and thereby leading to an effluxion of time or a settlement of the contract, then a termination of this agreement can take place. Number 3, where there's a fundamental breach of the agreement. This occurs where a respondent fails to carry out the essential parts of his duties in the interconnect agreement, thereby leading to the operator failing to carry his own part as well. Number 4, where the respondent acts in ways that are contrary to the license with regards to interconnection. A license is a legal document that grants a licensee the right to carry out telecom activities in Nigeria. Mainly, we have 2 types of license. The first is the individual license. This is the type of authorization wherein the terms, conditions, obligations, scopes, and limitations are specific to the service being provided. On the other hand, we have the class license. The class license is a type of authorization whereby the terms, conditions, and obligations are general and they are common to all license holders. It is expedient to note that Regulation 92 of the Licensing Regulation 2019 place a restriction on a license holder from carrying out operations or activities beyond the license he is licensed for. This is to say, an interconnected respondent has no right to carry out activities beyond what he is being licensed for with regards to the interconnection agreement. And lastly, for any other reason established by the Act or any other subsidiary legislation made by the Commission. Now to the processes guiding the disconnection of interconnection of telecommunications network. Paragraph 2 of the guidelines on procedures of granting approval to disconnect telecommunication operator 2012 provides the guiding principles for approvals of disconnection of interconnection of telecommunications network. The Commission shall consider any disconnection request except when 1. There is a subsisting interconnect agreement between the parties duly filed by the Commission. Just as in every other regular contract, there cannot be a termination of a contract where none previously existed. In an interconnection agreement, there cannot be said to be a disconnection of interconnection agreement where there is no interconnection agreement or one even recognized to exist. An interconnection agreement is said not to be recognized to exist when it is not duly filed with the NCC. 2. That the interconnected operators must have accurate billing system consistent with the standard and specifications determined by the Commission. 3. That the parties must have fully exhausted every other option they have in resolving this dispute. 4. That the interest of the subscribers of the affected network is being protected. And lastly, that public interest with relation to rule of law is considered. Thank you.